The state of California is set to implode. They continue to erect barriers for business, make it impossible for anybody to do business within the state. Now, we come to it. Elon Musk, this brilliant genius who comes up and electrifies the automobile, who develops the solar roof, who makes getting into space 90% cheaper. This absolute genius who has located his factory in your state. Now, amidst the coronavirus pandemic that has destroyed the economy, after the initial objectives have been reached, and because of safety and concern for workers, you tell him that he can't open his factory, that you try to shut him down and try to demonize him. And when he says, F that, I'm opening the factory, Lorena Gonzalez of San Diego, state assemblywoman, tweets out, F Elon Musk. And he tweets back, message received. He has already threatened to leave the state of California, to move the headquarters. He's stated that he's done with California and that he's using the Fremont factory as a bargaining chip because he employs so many people. And politicians have to take that into account. But nevertheless, you have these politicians like Lorena Gonzalez, who was sponsor of the bill AB5, which eliminated the gig jobs in the economy, sent many of those jobs to other states because, hey, we don't necessarily want to comply with all the rules, regulations that you have, bring them on staff full time. And a lot of the employees don't even want to be on staff full time because they're taking the gig economy the gig job rather, so that they can pursue other things and they don't have to be in the office all the time. But in the ever demonization of the free market, this assemblywoman introduces this bill that passes the progressive legislature of California, state that has basically a supermajority that can do anything they want. And they are continuing to pass these anti-business regulations that eventually just drive people out of state. And there's a lot of things to keep people within the state of California, with their employment, with their manufacturing. There's beautiful weather. That's the first thing that you can say about California. I'm from California. I grew up in California. And it's a great state. There's a lot of natural beauty. There's a lot of things to do. And then because of that, you had the buildup of all this industry that makes it even tougher to leave. You had Elon Musk, who wants to have his headquarters there. But when you start taxing people up the wazoo, when you start making it impossible for them to fire anybody who's done something horrific, and even if you do fire somebody for valid reasons, all that they do is just throw a lawsuit at you and you have to pay them $10,000 because it's cheaper to do it that way because the state has these onerous regulations rather than go and pay for the lawsuit to go through and likely win in court, but not for sure. It's still just far cheaper and you don't have to pay attention to it, so you just pay them out. The state, if you are Facebook, Google, and you have a limited number of employees and each person brings in a tremendous amount of revenue because with one click of a button, you can send a software update to 1 billion phones, as is the case with Google and Android. You take the search engine, all this stuff that each employee is responsible for tremendous amounts of revenue. Maybe Google can afford it, but other people with lower margin businesses can't. So eventually what you're going to have in the state is a chasm between the ultra wealthy and the ultra poor and everybody in the middle leaving. And Elon Musk saying that he's done with the state and that he's already definitely, according to him, and it might just be an empty threat, but he's already moving his headquarters from the Bay Area, Palo Alto, to elsewhere, whether it be Florida, Nevada, Texas, to places that are more business friendly. And that's the thing. You have a kingdom and you want your kingdom to thrive. Let's just put it in this metaphor. And you then have all these competing kingdoms, states, nations, whatever you want to call them, that are offering terms to the businesses because they also want them there. They also want their subjects, their people employed by said businesses. So you offer competitive things. Now, what does California have? California, as I said earlier, has a tremendous amount of natural beauty. They have the whole business infrastructure there that's been built already. You have really intelligent people in Silicon Valley is where everybody goes. In Los Angeles, you have the movie industry, and it attracts all sorts of incredibly talented, hardworking people. But when you make the regulations such that it becomes so onerous and the profit mode and all businesses, they have a profit motive. And when you take away their ability to make a profit because you're just taxing them up with the wazoo, you're employing regulations that stifle their creativity, their business, then eventually they just say that this is an equation. And doing business in California with the natural beauty and all the buildup is not worth it, we are going to move. At least we'll have peace of mind there, which I think that Elon Musk is saying, because essentially what Lorena Gonzalez and the progressives of California, who she represents in this case, by saying F Elon Musk, they are saying F you business. We want to control what you do. And we are in the middle of a pandemic, and we are going to use this opportunity to gain more power for ourselves that we can exercise over you. And you will open up your business, your factory that employs all these people when we decide. The same with the county that is removing Elon Musk's right to do so. Now you can argue, yeah, but Elon Musk, he's just after profit. That's the only thing he cares about. He wants to make as much money as possible, and that's all he wants to do. He doesn't care about his workers. Look, I assure you that Elon Musk, the profit motive, first of all, is not his primary concern. The profit motive is there so that he can fund other projects. His dream is to get the human race off of Earth and to Mars. That's what his compelling vision is. And he needs to be successful in his businesses in order to bolster the capital, the research, and everything to make that progress that he desires. Second of all, even assuming that a business owner like Elon Musk, that he's a greedy Mr. Burns type character and the only thing that he cares about is his bottom line, he also cares about his workers, because these are some of pretty highly trained people that cost a lot to replace. You certainly don't want them getting sick, which is why there are health protocols in place. But of course, the county, the bureaucracy wants to approve them. They want to have the final say. Elon Musk definitely wants his workers healthy. Furthermore, he's stated that not all employees have to show to work. If you are concerned for your health, if you have an issue, then you don't have to show. But they're not getting paid. And wouldn't you rather have them getting paid for doing something rather than taking from the taxpayer dole that you and I are also paying for? This is what doesn't make any sense to me. People think that money grows on trees, and it doesn't. You print money because you're in the United States and you have the world's reserve currency, congratulations, and that can last for so long. And eventually something like Bitcoin takes over that has a limited and fixed supply, and the US dollar disappears to crap. Meanwhile, anybody who has savings in cash is losing them, because you can't print $6 trillion and raise the money supply without seeing prices escalate. And if you have a fixed supply in the bank earning 0% interest, your savings are dwindling in real terms, in terms of what they can buy as inflation rises. So Elon Musk gets the support of Donald Trump. Hey, we want Elon to reopen the factory. It is a competing vision that you have people that want their ideology to spread, safety at all costs. We don't care about living. We don't care about having fun. We want workers protected at all costs. And you don't seem to understand that businesses have their own interest to protect their workers. This is not an 1850s monopsony, which is when you have only one employer in a given area, so they have control over the business. If you treat your workers badly, especially more skilled ones, they can go elsewhere. And Tesla employees are certainly pretty skilled. And the problem is that when you continue to raise the cost intentionally for employers, and you think that they don't have another option to go elsewhere, then you are going to be sadly mistaken. And this is what is ruining the state of California. Unfortunately, California has many people that value their ideology over anything else, that don't understand economic principles, that are intentionally raising the cost of businesses within the state to operate and sending those jobs elsewhere. And what is going to happen is that you are going to see a reversal, and it is possible that California turns reddish from deep blue to maybe more purple in terms of the political outcomes that they have in the state electorate. I hope so, because I used to be on the blue side, and I am done with it because of people like Lorena Gonzalez. So if you're in San Diego, make sure to vote for whoever her competitor is, because they certainly aren't going to be worse. And these people like Lorena Gonzalez care so little in reality about the common worker. They sit there and they dictate what they can and cannot do, that they know what's best for them. Meanwhile, a salon owner in Dallas opens up her shop in violation of the local ordinance, and they want to throw her in jail while releasing prisoners, hardened criminals, from the jails, because they don't want anybody to catch the disease, but they're willing to throw her in to the wolves. It's disgusting, it's wrong, and it's just so anti what freedom is about. Freedom to have our businesses open. Walmart is allowed to stay open and sell their goods. because they're critical infrastructure and people have to be able to purchase things. But then the mom and pop stores have to close down and Walmart gets all their business. Now, I'm a shareholder of Walmart. That's good for me, right? But I hate it because I don't want these mom and pop businesses to go under because of the government. Meanwhile, the workers are getting $600 a week extra unemployment insurance, which means that they don't want to go back to work because they're making more on the government dole. This is the progressive agenda at work. So go Elon Musk, open up your factory, produce those cars, employ those people, pay the taxes, the tax revenue that helps others, that helps the state. Allow the state to waste that tax money, but at least keep it within the state of California. But no, you want Elon Musk to go elsewhere. You say, F Elon Musk. That's fantastic politics, Lorena Gonzalez, and all you progressives out there. Let's keep people unemployed. Let's throw them to the wolves. Let's print money in order to support them. You think that money can just be printed? No, money is what is exchanged for goods and services, and the value of the money is what you can exchange it for. And when there are no goods and services, because you've shut everybody down, then the money is not worth much. Peace and blessings to everybody out there. If you think this video is valuable, share it. And peace and blessings to you. Subscribe and have a fantastic day. Go Elon Musk. Go Tesla.